Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am back with part 2 of my July wrap-up video. This is the series that I read in July. So if you've seen part 1, I was talking about all of the either standalone books that I read in July or books that I only read one book of in the series last month. I actually have to revise my book count because I said 23, but that's because I was counting my physical books, and I actually read 2 ebooks as well. So it's, my total for July was 25 books, but 2 of those ebooks were part of a series, so I'll talk about them now. In July, I read book 1 and 2 of the Helix series by Nathan M. Farrugia. I'm sorry if I'm going to pronounce those names wrong, so I'll try and put the covers somewhere for you to check them out. They are really short books. They're very quick and easy to read. They are science fiction, techno thriller type books. They're about people who have specific genes and there has been some genetic modification to turn them into perfect soldiers, but they've revolted against their handlers and their trainers, and they're going on the run. I have to admit, these books, I like them. I liked reading them. I like the fast pace and I like the technical aspect in them. I did have trouble following the storylines. It does jump around from different characters quite a bit. By the time I got to book 2, which I think is called Exile, so Helix number 2, Exile, I was starting to get a clearer picture. The way that they read is really like watching a TV series. So they're like reading episodes. So you come away from the first book with a lot of questions, and then they answer some of them in book 2, and then you've got more questions because this is a series that's coming out pretty frequently. I am going to try and keep reading because I want to find out how everything fits together. But at the moment, sort of giving them about 3 out of 5 stars, just because I do find some aspects of it difficult to follow, but I do enjoy the writing style. The next book series that I read, and I read everything that's out currently, is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas, which is huge here on BookTube. And because it is a series, I'm not going to go too much into all of the books, but I will say that book 1, Throne of Glass, I actually found the most challenging to read. It took me a good 2/3 of the book to really get interested in this storyline. Don't hate me, it's just, it took me a while. This book series has one of the things that I hate most about fantasy novels, and that is unpronounceable names. I really cannot stand that. And I actually... I thought, I'm just going to keep reading, I'm going to keep going, and then I got to about halfway through it and I went, I need to stop, I need to look up this book and I need to find out how to pronounce these names because this is just ridiculous. Because between Selena and Kale, I just wanted to throw this book across the room. What's so wrong with spelling names that you can pronounce? That said, by the end of the book, I really did enjoy it. I did give this book 3 out of 5 stars. It's probably the book that I enjoyed the least out of the series. But for those of you who are not aware of the Throne of Glass story, Selena Sardothien is an assassin who has been imprisoned in the salt mines, and she is given release on the condition that she fights on behalf of Prince Dorian in a competition to become the King's champion, or the King's assassin. 3 out of 5 stars, I enjoyed it. I did read the rest of the series, so I guess that says something. Crown of Midnight is the second book in the series. I'm not going to go too much into the plot lines of the rest of the books because if you haven't read the first one, then I don't want to give out spoilers. This book I gave 4 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it more than Throne of Glass. I enjoyed the character development a lot more, and there's quite a few plot twists in this one. Heir of Fire is probably one of my favourite books in the series. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars because I liked the new setting, the new characters that were introduced, and the storyline that came about in here. Queen of Shadows, I gave 3.5 to 4 out of stars. This suffered a little bit from a few things, which I won't talk about because that'll be spoilers, but if you are interested in hearing my thoughts on any of these books, please do let me know down below because I'm happy to do book talks on any or all of these books. You just have to let me know which ones you're interested in hearing about. I'd still enjoy it. This one is huge. And then I also read The Assassin's Blade, which are the novellas for this series. I actually read this book last, and I know a lot of people said that you should read it before you read Queen of Shadows. Yeah, it may have helped, but I actually don't think I lost anything in the reading. I really enjoyed this one. I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars. It gives more background into Selena and where she's come from. So I did really like this book in particular. One of my goals this year is to get through a middle grade fiction series that I've had on my shelf for ages, and that is the Skulduggery Pleasant series by Landy. I actually own every single book in this series. There are 9 books. I read the first 4 last month. 2 of them were rereads. And I actually really like this series. I think it's really fun. I've had all of the books for like 2 years and I have not finished them. And I started reading these books like 9 years ago. So Skulduggery Pleasant is the first book. In this book, we meet Stephanie Edgley. Well, her name's Stephanie. And when we meet her, her uncle has just passed away. He's quite an eccentric uncle who was an author. First of all, they go to his funeral and she sees this mysterious man, and she doesn't get to meet him then, but she meets him later on at the reading of her uncle's will, and that man is Skulduggery Pleasant. He is the skeleton detective, and through meeting Skulduggery Pleasant, she finds herself involved in this magical world that she never knew existed, and she basically helps him out on one of his cases. And then things spiral on from there. Really enjoyed it. So I read Skulduggery Pleasant, the first book. Then I read Playing with Fire, which is book 2. This one I also gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. The Faceless Ones, same thing, 3.5 out of 5. And Dark Days, which I gave 4 out of 5 stars because the story's really starting to develop, which is amazing. I've got 5 more books to go in the series, plus a book of novellas and another short story. So I've got another 7 books to go in this series. And then the last series that I read this month was the A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury collection by Sarah J. Maas. I'm going to say off the bat, I prefer these books to the Throne of Glass series. The more fantasy spin in this series, I think I found more interesting, as well as the characters. I connected with them a lot quicker than I did the characters in the Throne of Glass series, which is not to say that I didn't like the other series, but I prefer this one. So the first book is A Court of Thorns and Roses, and in this one, Feyre is a human who is found to have killed a Fey warrior, and the punishment for that is that either her life is forfeit or she must go and live in the Feylands. So she's taken to the Spring Court, where she lives in the home of the High Lord Tamlin and his emissary Lucian. The Fey Kingdom has had a curse put on it. Well, part of it's had a curse put on it, and it is being ruled by quite a wicked person. And it is really, really fun. So this, for those of you who aren't familiar, this is sort of a retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I have to confess, I actually thought more of the Beauty and the Beast elements came out at the start of A Court of Mist and Fury. More closer parallels came out at the start of this book, but there are definitely the undertones in here. This one I go 4 out of 5 stars. A Court of Mist and Fury, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. This book was amazing. This is up there with The Martian as one of my favourite books that I've read this year. I could not put this down. I just wanted to know what happens. There's a whole lot of stuff in this book and I can't talk about it because it's spoilery. The flow-on effect from book 1 is dealt with beautifully in this book, and you see a real evolution in Feyre's character as well as the characters around her, and the world building in this is just stunning. I just want to go to all the places that are mentioned in this book. So like I said, I can't give too many details because it would be spoilery because it is the second book in a series, but if you would like me to do a book talk on it, do let me know because I'd be happy to share my thoughts. They're all upside down now. Oh no! They're all upside down. A series that I read in July. So I had a really great month. I am about halfway through my August TBR already, so I'm hoping to be able to add some more books to that. So hopefully at the end of next month, there'll be a few interesting books in my path because I have done a bit of book shopping. But thank you very much for watching. As always, if you've read any of these books, please let me know your thoughts down below. I hope wherever you are, you're having a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.